Hey there! Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to define bipolar disorder, talk about manic and depressive episodes, symptoms, potential causes, when to go see a doctor, and ways to lessen the intensity of episodes. As I said in the last video, I'm not a therapist, psychiatrist, or a professional on any of this. However, I have gone to professional websites to get information that I can share with you guys. All of my resources that I use are going to be in the description below, so you can go and fact check me, and also if you want to go into more detail yourself. If you notice me looking down, it's because I have my laptop with notes so I can keep all my thoughts organized. First, I'm going to talk about the stigma behind bipolar disorder and the stereotypes. Majority of us have had someone change their mind really quickly, or they get quickly upset over something and someone will say to them, "Oh my god, you're so bipolar." While this is said as a lighthearted comment, it reinforces the myth for the people who are living with this mental disorder that it is an immediate reaction between moods. I myself was guilty of this until my diagnosis. I was someone who thought bipolar was just like flipping a switch on emotions. People often think that mood swings of bipolar happen quickly or even immediately, which is far from the truth. When it comes to going between manic and depressive, it is a pattern of hills, valleys, and plateaus. As mania is coming into the picture, it's climbing a hill of euphoria and amazing energy, but then you get to the top of the hill. Once at the top, the mania fades and turns into a depression. But it is not like a steep slope you would see in a roller coaster. It's a gradual decrease. Sometimes there are plateaus, which are the moments when life just feels normal, with little to no symptoms. The mood swings take balance and time. Just because someone changes immediate emotions does not mean it's okay to refer to them as bipolar. NAMI defines bipolar as a chronic illness that dramatically shifts a person's mood, energy, and ability to think clearly. The two moods are mania and depression. These mood swings can affect sleep, activity, judgment, and behavior. As I said in my intro video, the average age of diagnosis is about 25. I was diagnosed at 19. Every year, 2.9% of the US population is diagnosed with bipolar disorder. This disorder affects all genders equally. Here are some specifics of mania and hypomania. They have the same symptoms, but they are two different types of episodes. Mania is more severe than hypomania and causes more noticeable problems at work, school, and social activities, as well as relationship difficulties. Both manic and hypomanic episodes include 3 or more of these symptoms: abnormally upbeat, jumpy, or weird, increased activity, energy, or agitation, exaggerated sense of well-being and self-confidence, decreased need for sleep, unusual talkativeness, racing thoughts, distractibility, and poor decision-making, which would include shopping sprees, taking sexual risks, or making foolish investments. When I am manic, I definitely become much more upbeat, energetic, and literally jumpy. There were many times during marching band rehearsal this year that I noticed myself being manic because I would skip from place to place, jump in place, or even be able to stand still. Doing all of this made me look out of place and very different from my usual behavior. I do not like to draw attention to myself unless I am with a group of friends. So to be bouncing around in front of 250 plus people during rehearsal was weird for me because I like to keep myself on the down low. But I did not care because I had an exaggerated sense of self-confidence. I also work better on a segmented sleep schedule, so 4 to 5 hours 2 times a day is what really works well for me. But when I am manic, I can function off of an hour or 2 of sleep, if necessary. This normally comes from me being social with my friends, and I miss sleep. My friends and family know I like to talk a lot, but in a manic episode, I will not shut up and feel the need to fill any space of silence with conversation. In many of these conversations, I have racing thoughts and my mouth cannot keep up with them. On many occasions, I have to stop myself from talking because I kept fumbling over my words. I literally compose myself by bringing my hand in front of my face like this. I also have a terrible attention span in general, unless I'm intrigued by the topic. When I am manic, I tend to disregard new information and have a very low perception. So whenever people are talking to me, I find myself getting distracted by my own thoughts or any animal in the vicinity. At that point, I have to focus in again and ask my friends to repeat whatever they were saying. At the age of 20, I have made a few poor decisions, as many young adults do, but I have come to realize that the extremes of some of those decisions are related to my brain. I tend not to want to buy a lot of things or have things bought for me because I know I have stuff and I don't need any more. However, if I'm manic and in a mall, I am guaranteed to buy a bunch of unnecessary things. The store where I am the most impulsive and will buy things in is Hot Topic. I love the clothing styles they sell, love the nerdy stuff, and just the aesthetic of the store. All of these things lead me to spend quite a bit of money there. Recently, I ended up spending $70 on 2 shirts and a necklace, all of which I did not need. When I had come down from my mania, I looked back and realized that I bought these on impulse rather than genuine want or need. I've also taken sexual risks in the past, but I'm not going to go into any detail on that. It is just important to realize how bipolar disorder can lead to potentially dangerous sexual situations and sexual habits that I would not have put myself in otherwise. Alrighty. A major depressive episode includes symptoms that are severe enough to cause noticeable difficulty in day-to-day activities, such as work, school, social activities, or relationships. An episode includes 5 or more of these symptoms. Depressed mood, such as feeling sad, emptiness, or tearful. In children and teens, it is often shown through irritability. Marked loss of interest or feeling no pleasure in all or almost all activities. Significant weight loss when not dieting, weight gain, or decrease or increase in appetite, either insomnia or sleeping too much, restlessness or slowed behavior, fatigue or loss of energy, feelings of worthlessness or excessive or inappropriate guilt, decreased ability to think or concentrate or indecisiveness, and thinking about or planning or attempting suicide. When I was younger, my worst symptom was irritability. I could see this a lot when it came to basketball. Being irritable led me to fouling an average of 3.5 fouls per game in my high school career. Many of those came from being frustrated when guards would make a turnover or lazy defense from my teammates. When I was in the depressed mood, it would make practice feel like a lot of work and I did not want to be there. I was a difficult teammate to be around in these depressive episodes because I was negative about myself when I would make a mistake. I would have big reactions to mistakes that didn't have much of an impact, but because of my reaction, it made the problem worse. I've also had feelings of emptiness, similar to the chocolate bunny you get on Easter. This feeling is something that I dislike a lot during my episodes because I feel so much all the time with such strong emotions that the feeling of emptiness is so foreign to me. There are many times that I will not find pleasure in any of the activities that I normally do, like drawing, reading, or playing Pokemon on my Switch. When I feel no pleasure in my normal activities, I sit and stay on my phone and just let my mind go numb, whether this be YouTube videos or TikTok or just playing games. When I was younger, there were often days where everything felt bland and I did not enjoy anything, even having fun family movie nights. I've experienced both insomnia and oversleeping when in a depressive episode. I have insomnia when my mind is racing and there is something that has increased my depressed mood. I oversleep more often than the insomnia because in my depression I get a lot of that heavy feeling in my body and I just feel too sad to get out of bed. I just don't want to do anything. I feel fatigue a lot when I'm out of the house, like walking to class or hanging out with friends, and this just is when I have drained energy and just don't really want to be anywhere. I think my most common symptom in the feelings of are the feelings of worthlessness and excessive or inappropriate guilt. These are feelings that have always been strong throughout my life. Whenever I am struggling with worthlessness, I call my parents or a couple of my close friends that I trust. And while that helps me not feel worthless knowing they care about me, it makes me feel guilty because I hate to bug people with my problems. No matter how many times they tell me I am not a bother and they want me to reach out, I will find myself pushing through the depressed feelings so I do not bug them anymore. There has been an issue affecting me since early December, and it has been the main source of my depressed feelings. I have talked to people I trust about this a lot, and because they've heard it so many times, I avoid talking about it anymore with them because I feel so guilty bringing it up again and again, even though it's something that has affected me a lot. I'm getting better at talking about it, but it's still really hard for me to get rid of the guilt from thinking I'm bugging them. I am definitely very incisive when in my depression state because I just don't know what I want to do. Nothing feels like fun, nothing feels worth doing. So then a lot of the time I end up just doing nothing. I have had thoughts about suicide if the depressive episode got bad. And it gets bad when I isolate myself. Now, this isn't just isolating myself physically, it is isolating myself from social media, texting, calling family, FaceTiming. And I often isolate myself because I am trying to think that what I'm sad about isn't worth my time to talk to anybody about. And I shouldn't care so much about it. And because of this, I don't really want to talk to anybody. Alrighty, now when to see a doctor. Obviously, seeing mood extremes is cause to think about going to see a doctor, but many people don't see how the emotional instability is disrupting their lives and the lives of others. Other people enjoy the feelings of euphoria because it leads to productive cycles and a general happier time. With the euphoria and lack of recognition for how it impacts the lives around them, some people with bipolar decide not to get the treatment that they need. What many don't think about is how hard emotions crash and lead to feeling depressed and tired. If you have symptoms of depression or mania, call your doctor or mental health professional. Bipolar disorder does not get better on its own. Getting treatment from a mental health professional with experience in bipolar disorder can help you get your symptoms under control. There is no exact cause of bipolar that anyone knows, but there may be factors involved. A factor would be stressful circumstances or a situation that can trigger symptoms of bipolar disorder. Examples of stressful triggers would be the breakdown of a relationship, physical, sexual, or emotional abuse, and the death of a close family member or a loved one. These types of life-altering events can cause episodes of depression at any time in a person's life. All of that information was found on the UK National Health Service website. In Mayo Clinic, it talks about biological differences. People with bipolar disorder appear to have physical changes in their brains. The significance of these changes is still uncertain, but it may eventually be able to help pinpoint causes. Going back to the UK National Health Service website, they talk about the chemical imbalances in the brain. Bipolar disorder is widely believed to be the result of chemical imbalances. If there is an imbalance in the levels of one or more neurotransmitters, it may cause symptoms of bipolar disorder. For example, it is believed that abnormal serotonin levels in the brain may affect a person's mood. The chemicals responsible for controlling the brain's functions are called neurotransmitters, and these include noradrenaline, serotonin, and dopamine. There's some evidence that if there is imbalance in the levels of one or more neurotransmitters, a person may develop some of the symptoms. For example, there's evidence that episodes of mania occur when levels of noradrenaline are too high, and episodes of depression may be the result when those levels are becoming too low. Another potential cause is genetics. Bipolar disorder is more common with those who have a first-degree relative, such as a sibling or a parent with the condition. Researchers are trying to find the genes that may be involved in causing it. As I said in the last video as well, my mom is bipolar disorder, which made it easy for us to say, yeah, I probably have bipolar disorder. There's no way to guarantee lessening the episodes, but there are some ways that may be able to help. Pay attention to warning signs. Knowing the symptoms that are coming on early can help you prevent it from getting worse. Identifying the pattern that will lead to mania or depression is a great way, because then you know what'll trigger it. My patterns to mania are almost always socially influenced. I am a huge people person, so if I have a weekend hanging out with friends and I've been manic, then I'll end up feeling depressed for a while. And the depression will stem from being alone for a long time, or if a friendship has fallen apart, which recently that has also hit me pretty hard in a depression. And also I try to control my swings by keeping to a routine, giving myself a schedule, cutting myself off and saying, okay, I need to do this, I need to leave my friend's place at this time, so I'm actually getting things done. Call your doctor if you're feeling like you're going into an episode of mania or depression, and have them help you figure it out. Also involve family and friends in watching for the warning signs. Whenever I feel mania or depression coming on, I've made a habit to call my mom about it. Calling her helps me recognize the mood that is coming, which is great for me to control my behaviors and prepare for the rise or the fall. Also, avoid drugs and alcohol. Using alcohol or recreational drugs can worsen your symptoms and make them more likely to come back. And lastly, take your medication as directed. You may be tempted to stop treatment, but don't. Stopping your medication or reducing the dose on your own may cause withdrawal effects, or your symptoms may worsen or return. Alrighty, thank you for watching my video. Any sources I have used will be in the description below. Please comment down below if you have any questions or suggestions. Also comment if there's something you want me to talk about. Alrighty, I'll see you all next time. Remember to love yourself and keep being brave.